everyone, PeekupTCG here, and today we are looking at the brand new Hisuian Zoroark single prize deck from Lost Origin. That's right, not the VSTAR deck like you've seen on other YouTube channels. Today we are looking at the single prize Hisuian Zoroark, and this deck is pretty interesting because you can use Hex of Ruin, its first attack, to make sure that your opponent's active Pokemon will be guaranteed knocked out at the end of their next turn. So, how does this deck work? Well, obviously, we are focusing on our lovely Hisuian Zoroark here, using the Hex of Ruin attack, as we already discussed. We are not trying to use the Bring Back attack, but basically, we are trying to get into play a Pokemon that needs no energy, to be able to attack. So we start off with our lovely little Hisuian Zorua. We can collect to draw a card, but we really don't need to be constantly using Hisuian Zorua. But we just need it as a pre-evolution. We have Hisuian Zoroark, obviously for a Hex of Ruin attack, and that is our main attacker. But we also have Miltank with the Miracle Body, so that way we can stall until we can get a Zoroark set up. Or if we just want to stall the game with Miltank. And Route can do upwards of around 110 damage. So, an okay attacker, but we are not focusing on trying to use Miltank. And we play 2 of Miltank, and we play 1 of Yveltal from Celebrations to use the Cry of Destruction attack to discard up to 3 special energy from the opponent's Pokemon. Next up, we play 3 Quick Balls, so that way we can grab out our Hisuian Zoruas, our Miltanks, and our Yveltals. We also have 2 copies of Level Ball, so we can grab out our Hisuian Zoruas and nothing else. We play 4 copies of Ultra Ball, so we can get any Pokemon that we need at the right time. We play 2 Evolution Incense to grab our Hisuian Zoroarks. We play 4 Trekking Shoes. This is a very important card in the deck, because it allows us to choose which cards we want to put into play, and just always have a card available to us by drawing extra cards. We also have 4 copies of Scoop Up Net, so that way we can scoop up Pokemon if they are trapped in the active spot, or if they're about to get knocked out. It's very useful, and Scoop Up Net has just become a card that really, that's been really important and really expensive in the game. We also played 2 copies of Switch and Escape Rope for if we do get stuck in the active spot, and so we can trap your opponent's active Pokemon. We also have 1 copy of Ordinary Rod, so that way we can grab back our Pokemon back into our deck, and we play 1 Rescue Carrier, so we can grab back our lovely little Hisuian Zoruas. We also play 1 copy of Tool Scrapper, so that way our opponent cannot use cards like Air Balloon. And we also use Tool Jammer, so that way it has a similar effect. We play 3 copies of Pokégear 3.0, so that way we can grab our supporters, the right supporter that we need at the right time. We also play 1 copy of Pal Pad to grab back our supporters, which we will now go over. We have 2 copies of Professor's Research. You gotta know the deal with Professor's Research. We can discard our hand and draw 7 cards. We have 2 copies of Marnie, which is hand disruption. We have 3 copies of Boss's Orders, so that way we can always get the Pokemon we want to knock out in the next turn into the active spot when we need it. We also play 1 copy of Team Yell's Cheer. This is actually, a lot of this deck is structured off of the Mewtwo v Union Miltank deck that's doing super well right now. But we can put back any 3 of combination of Pokemon or supporter cards except for Team Yell's Cheer, which means we can grab back Cyllene, and we can get cards that we need back on top of our deck, which then we can Trekking Shoes for. We also play 4 copies of Galar Mine, so that way we can keep our opponent's active Pokemon in the active spot, and they cannot negate the effects of Hisuian Zoroark. And then we play 3 copies of Twin Energy, even though Zoroark does not need any energy to attack. With Hex of Ruin, we can use attacks such as Route, or we can use attacks such as Cry of Destruction. So, the main focus and the main concept of this deck is we are trying to be able to use Hex of Ruin basically every turn, so that way we can always knock out our opponent's active Pokemon. However, that can get a little tricky since Pokemon, they can use Switch or they can just retreat. That is why we are playing Galar Mine, and that is also why we are playing stuff like Tool Jammer and Tool Scrapper, so that way they can't put Air Balloon onto their Pokemon. It's okay, since we are a single prize deck, we can wear out the number of Switch cards that they use, because they can only take one prize card for each Pokemon that knocked out. So that really helps slow them down and allows us to kind of set up. If we go Miltank stall against stuff like Palkia or Dialga or any of those other meta decks, we can kind of just sit there with Miltank for a little bit until we are ready to go, and then we go ahead and we use our Hisuian Zoroark, so that way we can start taking prize cards really easily, and it's almost like a checkmate, game over sort of game. Yeah, Cryo Destruction is also a really useful attack because we can get rid of their special energy if we are also facing another deck that focuses on special energy. Twin Energy, obviously, again, is just for our Miltank and Yveltals to attack. And, yeah, that's really our Hisuian Zoroark list. It's super fun to just take one-hit KOs. I played Doom News Absol back in the day, so I kind of know how fun this sort of deck can be. So, yeah, if you have any questions about this deck, let me know in the comments. If you have any ideas for other Lost Origin decks, I'm also really excited to hear your ideas. I am working on putting together my Giratina VSTAR list. I'm just waiting on the cards to come from Japan over here, so that way I can record a video as soon as I can for Giratina VSTAR. I will be working on Dialga VSTAR, and I'll be working on Mew VMAX in the future, as well as one other deck idea that I'm going to save for the future. But once again, thanks so much for watching. Follow me on Twitter if you want to see more content like this. And yeah, well, we'll catch you next time, and peace out.